It's been a while, but I'm back tonight or today to make my review for RebelMoon Part 1 of Child of Fire. I don't have my notes with me as they're all on my phone, which was probably a stupid idea to do, but I'll try and remember everything as possible, and if I don't, I'll probably make a part 2 or something. RebelMoon Part 2, The Scargiver, comes out April 19th, if y'all are wondering. So, it's been a while. Since my last video, I've gotten a PS5. I've gotten some Superman comics. I've gotten a lot of things for Christmas. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. I am probably a little late on doing this. I know this year hasn't really been the year on this channel for movie reviews. Oh man. I still have to do my Gran Turismo review. Did I do a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review? I don't think I did. Golly, I haven't watched Oppenheimer. I haven't watched Barbie. Which I probably won't. There's a lot of movies that I need to catch up on from this year. I missed out on a lot of the hype during the summer since I was over in Costa Rica. So now that I'm back home for a little bit, hopefully I can go catch some movies. I did go watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That review should be out after this. So keep your mind out on that. So, Aquaman. Not Aquaman. RebelMoon, Child of Fire. I'm going to start out by saying people hated on this movie way too much. I love this movie, especially as a Snyder fanboy of myself. Even though I haven't seen 300, Dawn of the Dead, Army of the Dead, Sucker Punch. People call me a Snyder fanboy, but in reality, I just watch the stuff that people give him the most hate for. And it turns out I like all of those movies. Now, you're probably going to be clicking off of this video right now, being like, man, this guy's just such a Snyder fanboy. I will make clear I am very 100% honest in all my reviews. If I don't like something, I will come flat out and say I do not like it. So this movie centers a character named Cora, played by Sofia Boutella, if I can remember the name right. And she's great in this movie. She has some awesome sequences, which is one of my positives, is the action sequences in this movie are fantastic. Now, this is obviously a watered-down version of the extended cut that we are going to be getting hopefully soon. If y'all do not know, there is a director's cut coming shortly after the PG-13 version that is already released and is #1 around the world right now. So the action sequences are well shot, they're well directed, they're great, especially the barn one with Cora. She's taking down all those guys, and it was great. She's great. She's awesome. She's really, really cool and great, and her character is good. And another thing that I want to say is that a lot of people have said that this is... I'm going to flat out say this. I have never really watched Star Wars. This whole universe is probably going to end up being my Star Wars. I've only really watched one Star Wars movie in the theaters, like, years ago. When I was a kid. Found out it wasn't really for me, so I can't really justify the difference in the because Snyder did say there are inspirations from Star Wars. But from the stuff I've seen from Star Wars and from this, I didn't really see any similarities. If y'all can comment down below what similarities you thought were similar, then be my guest. But the set designs were awesome. I was not expecting Corey Stoll. You guys might know him from the MCU playing Yellow Jacket. Did not know he was in this movie at all. He plays Sindri, this sort of leader of this village, and he does great. It was a very pleasant surprise. When he came up on screen, I was like, hey, that's Yellow Jacket. So he does great. Another one of my positives is the cinematography that this man, ZackSnyder, has, is crazy. And it's better than anything that has come out in the comic book industry or anything like that this year. Tops everything. Now, I know what y'all are gonna say. Godzilla -1 is right there. Haven't seen it. Guys, when I tell you I've only watched very few movies this year, and I'm hoping that changes next year. But I've heard it's great, and from the clips I've seen, obviously, Godzilla -1 might have the slight edge over RebelMoon Part 1: A Child of Fire. But I thought the visual effects were great. You open this movie with this narration by Anthony Hopkins. He's a legend. He's great. And my goodness, that man is great about speaking out Sorry, I just heard something. This man is great at... Hang on one second. Sorry, I heard something. Anyway, what was I saying? Action sequences were great. The visual effects are great. Anthony Hopkins is great in this movie. He plays a Jimmy robot, which Snyder has confirmed that we are going to be learning a bit more about them in the novel that just came out, the novelization, the audiobook, and yeah, it's available online. And we're also going to be learning about those robots in the extended cut and part 2 and all this other stuff. But my gosh, every time when I hear this man speak about royalty, I'm like, did he secretly grow up within a royal family? Because my goodness, he just speaks about royalty so well. It's crazy. Especially when when Sam and him are at that river and he's just talking away. Really, really good stuff. Anyway, y'all are probably like, this dude is waffling. It's 8 o'clock for me right now, and I just haven't had the time to make any videos. Or I've just been too lazy. So, I have so many DC updates and news to bring to y'all, and it's unbelievable. Anyway, so, Anthony Hopkins is great. We do see my boy Ray Fisher in this movie. He plays, Darian Bloodaxe, I believe. And my gosh, is he great. I found some instances where maybe he was trying a little bit too much. But, from what I saw, and he looked great. Obviously, he plays Cyborg in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I would want him to replace Kang in the MCU. To replace Jonathan Majors as Kang in the MCU, I think he'd do perfect. But, so, Ray Fisher's great. Corey Stoll is great. Sophia is great. Let's get on to Noble right here. Let me just say, Ed Skrein, however you say his name, I found this to be the most entertaining performance he's put on yet. And now, might have been entertaining, but what I am sort of still debating myself is this his best villain performance yet? Honestly, probably, but there are movies like Alita and still waiting for the sequel. Alita, man, he's in another one that I've seen too, and I've seen him in a lot of movies, but this was surprisingly very, very good. Noble is this admiral who's tough, he's strong. When he's on screen, you're fearing for everybody's life. He's a tough cookie, and he's one of the best villains I've seen in movies this year. Well, actually, no, he's probably the best villain that I've seen in movies this year. I found his performance great. And I know, like, when, everyone was coming out of the premiere and everything, blah, 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 and all this nonsensical hate was coming towards the movie. One thing that all these Snyder haters couldn't deny is that Noble was actually a pretty good villain. So I'm excited to see more of him in the extended cut and in The Scargiver. Another thing is that we learn that Noble used to be some sort of, I believe this was the context. Noble used to be some sort of father figure to Korra. We get all these cool flashbacks. And another thing that I have found very, very weird of the criticisms is the slow-mo sequences, which I thought were actually great, because it just slows everything down and we can see what's happening in the background, and you can see people getting punched in the face in slow motion. It's really, really great. And then again, that's just Snyder's style. That's just how he works. That's just how he operates. He likes using slow motion. Let the man use slow motion. It's like, come on. So, I found the slow motion sequences to be very, very cool, especially with the flashbacks with Korra and when she's younger and she has a haircut and everything. And another thing, the score by Junkie XL, amazing. If y'all don't know, he did Batman vs. Superman with Hans Zimmer, and he did Zack Snyder's Justice League. And this score was very reminiscent of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I can see him almost starting to use the Justice League theme and then just sort of turn and go in a different direction. I found that was very, very cool that he took inspirations from those themes, from those movies, and implemented them in this film, considering we probably won't have a sequel to Zack Snyder's Justice League, which saddens me, but if he doesn't want to let those themes go to waste, use them in RebelMoon. The last, shot of the team, is very reminiscent of Zack Snyder's Justice League as well. It's funny because I was watching an interview the other day, and Snyder actually said that he hates making ensemble movies, but he always wound up doing them, which I found interesting. But at the same time, I'm not going to, I'm not gonna go at him for it because I love his ensemble movies. Batman vs. Superman is great, or at least the Ultimate Edition. ZackSnyder's Justice League is great. Man of Steel is more of a Superman story, so it's not really an ensemble. But when I say ensemble, I mean like team-up movie, not with a big cast. So yes, that part is great. I'm gonna just wrap this up just by saying I found this movie very entertaining. I found only a few slight negatives, which then again, I don't have my notes, and I'll probably make a part 2 to this review so that I can come back and read through my notes. But I don't think I can name any of the cons I had off the top of my head. I did find the movie to drag a little bit in the middle, but then again, that's just a lot of movies. Towards the middle of a lot of movies, I do find myself like on my phone because they're just building up to the final battle just in a very boring way. The final battle in this movie I was geeking the whole time. Smiles all the way through. It was great. The action choreography and everything was fantastic in this movie. And Sophia actually did most of her stunts. I believe Snyder said that they had only used a double for 1 or 2 scenes, and that was it. And Sophia is actually coming down to MegaCon, which is in Orlando. I happen to live in Jacksonville, so maybe I can go meet her, which would be pretty cool. I'm trying to name any other cons I have on my head. I know I only had like 2 or 3, and I had this like long list of positives, which I will say is bias, sort of like a main yeah, I'm a fan of Snyder's movies. I don't find any of them to be necessarily bad in any way. I think people hate on them way too much, especially keyboard warriors, where they're just sitting on their couch at home going, "Oh my goodness, you ruined Superman." I'm like, no, he didn't. And he said this in an interview the other day. He was like, if I'm am able to destroy one of your beloved characters, maybe they aren't that resilient of a character. And I thought, that actually kind of makes sense. Wow, people were so upset that Superman wasn't picking cats out of trees. What a big flaw to have with the movie. Goodness gracious. Yeah. I'm not trying to turn this into a Batman vs. Superman review. Anyway, I'm going to get my final score here, look at my notes, and then maybe record part 2 tomorrow. This was me just mainly trying to get back into the swing of things of making videos. So I'm gonna leave the cast like right here. They're all great. The person who plays General Titus, Charlie Hunnam, who plays Kai, which is another thing I forgot to talk about. I found him turning evil very interesting, and it did not even appeal. Because I had gotten a notification on my phone, so I was looking at my phone, and then I see everyone else getting, hooked up to these chair thing. By the way Snyder made these whole like technology things were very cool. Like when we have the fight with Armada and Nemesis, which is a very, very good fight, and after the events of that fight and the dialogue that takes place after that Nemesis says, very, very powerful. The makeup to just how the character designs were, I thought was pretty spectacular and cool. So that's another big positive I had with the movie. Another positive I have with this movie is Netflix. I have never seen a studio give Snyder this much love than I have Netflix. Screw Warner Brothers Discovery and all their shenanigans they have on going over there, and screwing Zack over multiple times. Netflix knows ZackSnyder and they know how he operates, and they took a step back and said, we're going to let you do your thing. So big up Scott Stuber and the whole team over there at Netflix for really letting Snyder cook and give something to his fans. That's another thing. I need y'all to realize something. Snyder doesn't care about the critics, as I don't think any filmmaker really should. He only makes movies for his fans, and his fans only, and he rarely ever talks about critic scores or anything like that. And if you can go to like almost any Zack Snyder movie, the critic score is always lower. The audience score is always higher. Which I think is a great thing to do. You should never care about what anyone says about you or your work or anything like that, and he just takes that to a whole other level. He just says to the critics, hey, frick you, I'm gonna go make my thing. You can write it whatever you want, but I'm not gonna care. I'm the one getting paid, so. So, as of now, my overall score for the movie is like a 7-8 out of 10. When I had first watched the movie, it was like a 9-10 out of 10. But that doesn't go to say that there aren't flaws in the movie. There are flaws, and I will go back and probably watch the movie a second time before I do my part 2 of my review, but to just try and catch anything that I missed that didn't really seem to click. So it's like a 7-8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. Everyone, if you guys can please click the like button and the subscribe button, please do. Go check out RebelMoon Part 1, A Child of Fire, directed by Zack Snyder. And I have a feeling you might enjoy the movie just based off of my overall enjoyment of the movie. I know a lot of people on my Threads account and everything like that don't seem to really like the movie, which to me is odd. And at the same time, I always feel as if they're just trying to bring Snyder down, which, it's weird. All these people think he has, this high inflated ego based off of what they read in interviews and taken out of context. But if you actually go and watch these interviews that are available on YouTube, by the way, they're not just articles. You will see that this man is I saw a tweet earlier today, that he is the nicest person in the meanest town. Couldn't have said it better myself. This man, he knows what he's doing. He does what he loves. This is what he does to provide for his family. And anyone who takes shots gifts at someone for trying to provide for their family is honestly just a coward move. Because, like, I would very much like to see half of these keyboard warriors go and write a movie and direct it and produce it and see how hard it actually is. Anyway, 7, 8 out of 10. Sophia is great. Ray Fisher is great. Corey Stoll is great. Digimon Hansu as Titus. Charlie Hunnam as Kai. And so many others do a great job in this movie. Ray Porter is in this movie. He voiced Darkseid in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He does a great job. He plays this sort of sleazy character, like, which you kind of make him hate, almost. He portrays a hateable character, and he does a great job at it, so props to him. But, yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to come back with a video, but I'm here now. My Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom review should be coming out either tomorrow or the next day, and if it's not, you should probably expect another month break. See you all later.